What's up, everybody? It's Derek Conco or Eric here. What I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be doing not really a restoration, I'm going to be doing a custom on these Jordan 9 City flights, something like that. I believe so. So on these Jordan 9 City flights, this I just cleaned a little bit. These shoes are a little bit on the worn side. That would be customizing, but it's fine. So I just cleaned these a second ago. So this is how the uppers look. But just to get an idea of what it looked like beforehand, this is what it looked like when it was dirty. I'm going to be cleaning this one in just a second too. But what I'm going to be going for on this shoe is a blacked out design with everything here just going from white to black. And then afterwards on the midsole area here, what's going to happen is me putting white speckles there. And then other than that, it's a pretty basic design for the shoe. But yeah, this is what you guys are going to be seeing. Hope you like it. If you've just seen the last clip, y'all seen the shoes in the condition that they're in. Maybe this lighting will help you guys get a better idea. So the midsole area is pretty scraped up. I'm going to be taking that off with midsole magic. This pair I still need to clean, but I figured I would clean it on camera really quick. These are what the shoes look like right now. And now we're just going to dive in and clean these up and then get into the process. First, I think what I'll be doing is tipping up the midsole area, or around the midsole area, so that way I don't get any midsole magic on any places I don't want it to get to. Afterwards, I put the midsole magic on there, I'll take it off, get all the paint off the midsole, prep it, smoothing out the midsole for areas that have been scraped and scuffed and places like that, just like here. Afterwards, I'll paint it black, and then I'll do the speckles, and then I'll move on to the other areas of the shoe, like the white leather area. But other than that, let's get into it. Okay, so I just did a quick cleaning on the other shoe, so nothing too crazy with the cleaning. I just did the uppers really fast, and so now what I'm going to be doing is taking out the laces, then finally getting to doing that midsole area. Alright, what's up? So originally I was going to tape the bottoms as well when I was doing the taping for the midsole, but I found out that it was just kind of a bit too much to kind of like keep track of the edging and embedding it inside the tape and cutting alongside it for the soles. The midsoles and the soles for these are kind of more troublesome to be working with when I try to tape it in that certain technique that I use. So I just went with like my original, getting like piece by piece and doing it from the top here. I didn't really bother messing with the soles because the midsole magic that I'm going to be using to get rid of the paint here on the midsoles won't really interfere with anything, even if I get like tiny droplets on it. Right now I'm going to be taking off the midsoles on these, and then I'll do the taping on the other shoe and be doing that as well. But I figured since I'm doing it on these, I would just talk to you guys really quick and show you all what's about to happen. Alright, hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you. Okay, so I just took off all the midsole paint off of this shoe right here. So what I did first was I used midsole magic, and I really loosened up all of the paint that was on there. So I kind of usually I put thicker coats whenever I use it, but I'm trying to conserve it because I'm starting to run out. I'll be placing another order soon. But I used a thin coat all around. Afterwards, I used my X-Acto knife and kind of scraped it off a little bit just to begin it. Try to loosen it up even more. Then after that, I used a towel and scrubbed it. Really got a lot of the paint off. And afterwards, that's when I actually started using some acetone and getting the paint off. But because of the midsole magic, it made it a lot easier for me to even rub it off. It was just coming off a lot easier and took a lot less time than it usually would just getting the midsole paint off. These can usually be a real big pain, especially when sometimes if you use acetone too roughly in midsoles, it can cause a lot of how do I say it? Because it's like a styrofoam almost material on midsoles, when you put the acetone on it, it'll puff up and it'll expand pores. But with midsole magic, it really helped out because it took out a lot of the effort that you would have to put in usually to get the paint off. So I can go really gently with it and going back and forth to get the paint off without all that effort. So now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be prepping the leather that's all the way around this black area on the 9's. And because I'll be painting the midsole and the uppers black, I'm not too worried about getting black, and wherever it is. So I'm not really going to be doing much taping except for around the sole area.
Beat on the beat.
So I went pretty lightly just with the tape, just so I wouldn't get it on a majority of areas. Although it's very unlikely that I'll probably get it in this area, it's just kind of like a small precaution. So what I just did right now is I put some flat black Angelus paint, and I mixed it with some GAC 800. So this is a medium that you use with your acrylic paint so that it can be used on things like soft materials, or just for example on these shoes as a stitching. So what's common with other customs is that if someone doesn't use like a dye or a GAC or like any medium for these specific stitches, or for stitches in particular when they work on leather in areas such as this, what happens with the custom is that if you get into a situation where your custom or your shoe is scuffed in an area where the stitches or these stitches are, what's going to happen is that paint that you normally use when working on leather materials is not going to adhere to the stitches that well. So what you do before you work on the actual leather itself is you use a dye with the same color you're going to be using if it's going to be all that color, or you can use a GAC with the color of your choosing, the color that you're going to be using. Mix it together, then I'm going to be putting it over these stitches for a coat. Afterwards, I'm going to be getting some more Q-tips, dip it in some acetone, and then rub off all the excess. And so what it's going to do is it's going to change the color of the stitching to the flat black that I'm trying to make it change to. And so that way when it gets into any predicaments where the stitching does get scuffed or scratched, it's still going to be black and it's not going to change back to the original white, or because these are customs on a used pair, it's going to go back to like the previous color that was already in the stitching from dirt or grime or whatever it may be. And with this extra step, it's just kind of like it gives you that extra durability within the shoe, and it doesn't give someone the idea that it was a custom. It makes it look pretty much almost as factory as possible. And that's the goal when you create these customs, is that not only are they fashionable, but they're also durable and they can handle a long run. So next you're going to see a time lapse of me working on the stitches and doing the steps that I just talked about. Going over the stitches with the flat black, GAC 800, going with acetone, then possibly even doing the second coat if it doesn't come out to my liking.
Beat on the beat.
What's up, everybody? So I finally finished the custom on one of the shoes. So for the sake of the video, what I wanted to do was fully customize one of the shoes and then have like the before for the other shoes. So what I'm going to be doing is going to be untaping the sole on these, and there we should be seeing the final results. And we'll show the side-by-side comparison. So, one of the shoes is finished, so this is what the final result looks like. And for a flashback, this is what it looked like before. Personally, I really like the difference between the two shoes. It's really simple, custom, but really made all the difference. Alright, thank you for checking out the video. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. Tell me you guys think of the custom down below. Thank you very much.